They did a number on the Lions, Lloyd, and there's a lot of worries with the injuries they've now got. Lockie Neal out for the remainder of the year. Hipwood, the most likely out for the remainder of the year. They're already without Coleman. They're without Payne. They're without Ainsworth. And now they're out without their best players playing well in this qualifying final. Now, the jobs that Mullen and O'Connor did on McCluggage and Rayner specifically, Atkins also plays that negating role, but he's also creative. But this is almost the blueprint now, isn't it, for what we're about to see with what lies ahead?
Yeah, he was rattled. He was flustered, McCluggage. He was falling over. You see him on the ground a fair bit, and Mullen just doesn't relent. He was just at you, and this is a frustration. Rayner got lucky with a few cheap goals, but other than that, O'Connor beat him, and he was frustrated and angry. So, you talk about people think the tag is dead. Well, Chris Scott had two players do negating roles, and everyone just flipped around them. So it was amazing tactics from Chris Scott.
Yep. Lockie Neal, Lordo, he missed the latter rounds of the home and away season with a groin injury, and that's what I believe went first again against Geelong. And you can see him hobbling here. Ultimately, officially out of the match, it was a torn calf that has now left him out for the remainder of the year. But his body has been really, really problematic for them. They were worried about him actually blowing that groin with just the kicking motion going into the game. It effectively happened, and they're pretty vulnerable now without him.
We had him on 3AW about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he said, I didn't get a good pre-season, and I can't wait for the next pre-season to come to get a full one because I'm just not where I need to be. I'm not as sharp, I'm not as dynamic. We all thought he was going all right, but he was really open in saying, I'm just not as prepared as I need to be, and probably
caught up with him.
Yep. He's been chasing his tail from one injury after another, hasn't trained as much as he'd like, and the end has come.
They've responded to adversity quite admirably, in fact, extremely admirably all year. They've bounced back from bad losses. They're going to have to do that again against the Gold Coast, aren't they? There are other leaders in the team. I thought Harris Andrews played a pretty good game under all circumstances.
Yeah, he was their best player, I thought, on the night. He destroyed Shannon Neal. Shannon Neal had a couple of moments in the last quarter, but for 3 quarters, he was keeping them in it. And it wasn't until they lowered their eyes and brought some players into it. When they were kicking long, this is what Harris Andrews did all night. So he just got no support. Their forward line was dysfunctional, I thought, the other night, the Brisbane Lions. So they have to sort out the forward end because their back line was pretty good.
The AFL staged the 2020 Grand Final in Brisbane, Lordo, for the COVID reasons in 2020. This game we've got upcoming on Saturday, Gold Coast Suns versus Brisbane. It's as big a moment for Queensland footy as that. They're going to have to find something that they didn't find against Geelong, though, the Lions. And what's it going to be?
Yeah, well, I'm really worried about Gallup, so Sam Day. They've replaced Hipwood and Danaher with Gallup, Sam Day, and Logan Morris is having to shoulder too much. And he looks tired to me. So what I would do is I would mix things up. And because Sam Collins will be too good for them. He was too good for the Fremantle forwards. So I would go smaller and I would open up the whole forward 50 for Cameron Rayner. So we saw them do it. They tried it. So look at the space he's got. They said, good luck, Mark O'Connor. And look at the way he's turned him inside out. I would open the whole forward 50 and say to the bigger players like Day and Gallup and Morris, play higher. And let's see if we can get players like Cameron Rayner and Zach Bailey, who in this position are scary. Even Kai Lohman.
Yeah.
Give those 3 the 50. That's their way of winning this game.
And obviously Charlie Cameron needs to play, I'd say 50% better than he has for most of this season for them to be a chance.
Yeah, they may have a big decision to make on him, to be honest, at the end of this season, with where he's just fallen down as a player. He kicked the first goal of the game and had one more disposal for the rest of it.
Yep.